Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kurt, and welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Here we are once again. Oh, I don't appear to have a shovel anymore, so let's create a shovel here to start out episode. Let's also make a pickaxe. It's episode, let's also make a pickaxe. No, episode 486. Episode 486 of Farlands or Bust. It is Friday, May 22nd. It's the 22nd, right? Yeah, May 22nd, 2015. And we are going to continue walking west to the Farlands. Whoa, watch your step. We're going to watch our step in the meantime. West to the Farlands here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. And of course, as I mentioned in the last few episodes, we have reached our fundraiser goal for Child's Play charity. Our goal this season, Season 5 of the series, each of the seasons has its own charity goal, and then when we reach that goal, we hold a live stream flobathon, I press F3, and then we start a new season with a new goal. So here, Season 5, our goal is $50,000, and we indeed reached that, and the donations continue to trickle in. We are at $50,200. Somebody donated $25 to bring us up to a round number, 50,200. So I do appreciate that donation and all the donations this season, getting us to our goal. And we are in the midst of attempting to plan Flobathon 2015, the fourth Flobathon. And yeah, I'm still trying to figure things out. This weekend, obviously, it's not going to happen this weekend. The following weekend, perhaps, I'm aiming for that, but I said that at the beginning of this week when it seemed like such a distant time away. And now it vastly and quickly approaches. So I might need more time than that, but that would be nice. It's a good weekend for me personally. There's nothing going on that would distract from having a Flobathon the final weekend of May. But we'll think about it. There's a lot to do. I still have many other things other than just Farlands or Bust going on. I could just suspend everything else. No more videos, no more anything else until the Farlands or Bust Flobathon happens, but I don't really want to do that, because I know you guys generally really don't want me to do that, right? So we'll keep planning that. But yeah, I do appreciate the continued donations. farlandsorbust.com. That goes to Child's Play charity, obviously. Did I mention that already? Child's Play charity. Learn more at childsplaycharity.org. They get toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world. Great cause. A great cause indeed. And we are continuing on here. Indeed. I asked on Twitter, I was very curious as to what the update was to Minecraft that caused the biomes to go wibbly-wobbly. Specifically, if you remember, say, the Season 3 Mindcrack server, I came in after this happened. Perhaps I should look as to what version we were playing in when I was playing. But their spawn was originally just a forest biome, kind of like this, I think. And then an update happened, and the spawn village suddenly was a snow biome. It was the update that suddenly caused snow biomes to happen where there weren't ones at some point. And also, it specifically, I think, is when we played for the 4-year anniversary, we played my first Minecraft world on live stream, and the oceans were suddenly covered in ice where they shouldn't be. And I'm curious, what update did that take place in? I could swear it happened before 1.7.3, like we're playing right now. Some people responded thinking it was 1.5, because that's when they introduced weather. Beta, obviously, I'm talking about, because we played our first world in 1.7.3 here, and the snow was there. Unless I had loaded up that first world save, in another version, and then brought it back here, is what might have caused the ice. But I swear the ice was forming. So a fundamental change has happened. So I was wondering what that was, because I would like to... The reason I'm asking is I would like to load up that first world intact, without that snow and ice being a problem. And I'm just wondering what version of Minecraft I have to do that in to preserve the non-ice ocean, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So what update was that? And then people in Zisto are even coming back and saying it was beta 1.8, but that couldn't be because like I said, I opened it up in 1.7.3 here and there was ice everywhere, unless, like I said, I had opened it up elsewhere in a later version and then brought it back here. I don't know. It's a mystery of the universe, so that's why I was just pinging to find out. I was looking at the Minecraft wiki, the changelog history, and there's no mention. They only kind of mention the things that they changed and the bugs that they fixed. They don't mention the bugs that are introduced or the changes that are introduced. Like there's no mention of, oh, snow biomes suddenly appearing where there wasn't snow biomes before. So there's no mention of that. So it's hard to track through there. But maybe I should check through the perhaps other people's Minecraft Season 3 histories to see when that change took place. Because, yeah, I would like to get that first world back to pristine condition, as it were. And maybe we'll do something with that in the future. But right now, we are walking to the Farlands here in Farlands or Bust. How convenient for us. Indeed. I did want to mention before that I did see Mad Max in the theaters, and I liked it, but not as much as I thought I would. Perhaps it was overhyped for me. Everybody on the internet is losing their minds over Mad Max, and specifically what I see on Twitter. Oh, I'm going back to see it for the 4th time, and oh, it's amazing, and it's like nothing I've ever seen before, and I went in, I suppose, with that in mind, and I was a little bit let down. It was entertaining. It wasn't a bad movie, and I enjoyed it, but I wasn't blown away. It wasn't shocking, or it wasn't, it wasn't like, oh, this changes the way I think about movies and film forever. It was good. It was action-packed. It was obviously interesting in the fact that it was like non-stop action. There was no fluff added, as you might get in other modern action movies, or the Michael Bays, the lens flares and the unnecessary romantic undertones and heartfelt scenes. It was just non-stop action, chase, explosion. But aside from that, I really wasn't. It didn't knock any socks off. I walked in and out of the theater with my foot coverings intact, but it was good. There were a few moments where I kind of wish, like for instance, the one thing that was impressive is the majority of the stunts and the explosions and the car crashes were all real. There was no CGI in a lot of those scenes. So that was like some of the most coolest things that kind of came out of that, technically speaking, from a filmmaking standpoint. But I kind of wish there were certain times where explosions were happening or cars were flipping, and I feel like they cut away too soon. I'm like, oh, I kind of wanted to see the rest of that crash or what happened to that car. It's kind of, they show an explosion and a car doing a barrel roll, and then then the scene cuts before the car hits the ground or something. I'm like, oh, that would have been cool to have a little bit more extended. As somebody who enjoys the car crashes, through the BeamNG drives that we've played, I like to see things pan out. It's kind of like, I don't know if this is happening, if this was from the current video or in a future video of Dirt Rally. There's a situation where I crash and go off course. Ow! And it would have been and it reset me right away, like mid-crash. It would have been interesting to see where the rest of that crash took me, off the cliff or wherever I was going, but instead it reset me. It's like, oh, if you're gonna make me sad because I crashed, at least entertain me for a little bit. So I feel like that was a little bit of a critique I could have about Mad Max, is I wanted to see more carnage in a continuous fashion and maybe not so many cuts and edits, and maybe they do that technically because they're trying to hide the movie magic behind it. Perhaps some sort of stunt apparatus is shown on film, so they cut it away or something. I don't know, but it was good. But I'm really not probably ever going to see it again. I'm not gonna return to the theater or buy it on Blu-ray or anything. It was good, but okay, I'm ready to move on to something else now. So yeah, I don't know. Perhaps it was a symptom of being overhyped for me on the Twitters, and the various people I follow were like, "Whoa, my life has been changed by Mad Max. I'm going to have to go see it a 5th time, and it changes, and it's a completely new experience. I can't believe blah 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 blah." It also feels like it was a very it's rated R, and I think that's obviously why it didn't get the top. What's the word? The top weekend release, Pitch Perfect or whatever, earned more money than Mad Max, and that, getting an R rating is generally something that the studios don't want because it'll mean less ticket sales. But I feel it was a very tame R. Like it could have been PG-13 and maybe they got rated R, but they didn't want to edit it anymore, so they're like, okay, whatever, I'll just choke on my own spit, whatever, we'll just have it rated R, who cares? But I don't know. Let's go to sleep and continue in the morning. And Mad Maxness. Woof to you too. But yeah, I do feel I was kind of expecting, to be kind of grossed out. I expected there to be more blood and guts, but there really wasn't any from a rated R film. Like I said, is a pretty tame R. It could have gotten away with PG-13, I think, but like I said, maybe the way the ratings, the MPAA rating systems worked is quite a heavily debated thing anyway. So maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure what would have caused it to get the R, but anyway, let's continue on here. Oh, Wolfie, you just took a bunch of damage somehow, and I don't know how, but you're gonna sit down, thank you. That was weird. Perhaps all those trees I was gallivanting through. Are you... Let me see your tail. You know. There we go. Alright. Perfect. Oh, zombies. That's something we haven't seen, is a spawner in a while. He says, is he... Yeah, that might be one, but whoops. Well, I broke that torch for nothing because I didn't get it back. We don't see it, so we're not going to explore it. Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen a spawner. The last one might be that one that we explored that was underwater when we passed up the floating point border positional thingamabob. Remember? Yeah, that was a while ago. So long. So many moons ago. Interesting. But yeah, we're running down the list of questions from Child's Play charity donors, and I have more of those to get to today. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to mention. I don't think so. Anything else in the news? No, I think we're good. But yeah, let's get to a question from Bang X You're Dead. Your ex dead. Bang, you're dead. Bang, you're dead. And you're dead. Is that like a reference to things that I've done? Because that sounds like something. And you're dead. You're dead. Let's see. Bang, you're dead asks, I am currently a freshman in college and am having difficulty deciding between two majors. Chemistry or mechanical engineering? The field of chemistry fascinates me. I have a love for it, but I'm unsure about careers. On the other hand, I don't like engineering like I do chemistry, but would absolutely love to have the opportunity to work for NASA or SpaceX. What should I do? How do I choose? I don't think you should choose... Oh, God. Oh, dear. I don't think you... Oh, my. All right, let's get out. There we go. That's a disaster. I don't think you should choose... My personal opinion, I don't think you should choose a major or even a career path based on wanting to be employed by a specific employer. Like you mentioned, NASA or SpaceX. I feel like... I'm not saying that would set you up for disappointment, but it kind of narrows your flexibility. If you do talk to a lot of people who work for NASA or SpaceX or who are astronauts or whatever, you'll notice that they have incredibly wandering and varying paths that led them to that point. It almost seems like a lot of them end up there by accident. They'll be engineers or scientists, or even, I remember at the NASA social I went to, the announcer, I forgot his name, the announcer, the guy who does the commentary for the launches and landings and things. I asked him how he ended up there, and he was in broadcast school, and he worked on news stations and radio, and then it just kind of happened that maybe he knew somebody along the way, or the job opened, so he decided to apply for it, and he needed a job or something, and he was like, okay, and then he ended up at NASA and getting flown out to Russia to cover the Soyuz launches, and it's kind of a weird thing like that. So I don't know whether, I mean, there's a few, I suppose, varying perspectives on this, is to say, if you have like a set specific goal, then that really helps define the steps you take to achieve that goal. But I'm a little bit more of the mind of maybe your choices should be more about overall what you have a passion for and skill for, and then the career, the jobs kind of come as a result of that versus the other way around. So yeah, and of course, if chemistry fascinates you, there are chemists working in fields related to NASA and space flight. Chemists, fuel mixtures and stuff. If you're looking at SpaceX, fuel mixtures, engine, systems and stuff like that is all chemistry, to the best of my knowledge. Obviously, engineering involved in there. Of course, why can't you? You could have a double major, I'm sure, but have a major in chemistry and minor in some sort of mechanical or engineering field, if that's a possibility, and then you get the best of both worlds, and you become a well-rounded candidate, I suppose. Of course, chemistry even involved in NASA and space exploration, trying to figure out the chemistry of the oceans beneath Europa, or the chemistry of the atmosphere of Mars, and where the methane is coming from. All that stuff, I think, is involved. So I can't quite say you should do this. It is obviously one of my regrets that in college I didn't expand my horizons. I kind of was one-track mind. Get these credits to get this degree, to graduate, to etc., etc., etc. And I didn't maybe explore alternate fields of study, or even just interests, just random interests that I perhaps missed out on in a community like that I might have benefited from, perhaps not career-wise or financially or anything, but just to become a more well-rounded human being and more happy, I suppose, in a personality, or just even meeting people along the way, I suppose. So that answered your question, none, I'm afraid. But yeah, overall, I think that's, you're a freshman in college. You've got a lot to figure out, especially in those two fields, both engineering and chemistry, sciences. It doesn't end with your bachelor's degree specifically. A lot of those would benefit from getting higher degrees, your master's or even doctorates or whatnot. And there's a lot of commercial applications, too, for chemistry. I mean, a lot of chemical companies, food companies, and stuff like that. Chemists use that and are in that. So there's a wide range of stuff. You're unsure about careers about chemistry. It's probably more prevalent than you think. I'm no expert, but it just seems like it should be more prevalent than perhaps most people think. So, yeah, that is definitely another spawner. But we don't see it, so we're continuing on. Yeah, that's the rule. If we don't... I used to stop and check out pretty much every little noise I heard and spawner, but that quickly became a little bit monotonous and kind of slowed down our progress. So now the rule is if I don't see the cobblestone or the mossy cobblestone, or if I don't see the direct evidence of a spawner, then we pass it up. No auditory evidence. We must have like a caved-in gravel or sand area that's like, yep, that's a spawner, or actual line of sight to the cobblestone. So yeah, thanks. Holy crap! Oh my god, that was almost death. Wolfie, get over here. Let's get in the water just in case he fell in. Oh my god! Holy Moses! Whew! Whew! No, Wolfie! Wow! See? Oh man! Ha ha ha! That was the closest we have come to instant death, my friends. I am going to need a minute. Oh man, Wolfie, come up here. Wolfie, what are you doing? Get up on the land, you noodle. Oh my, that was inches from sudden death. And that everybody asks, "Oh, you haven't died yet in this world, in this Let's Play. How do you think your first death is going to come?" We came pretty close right there. I'm gonna have to look at that footage afterwards. How did I land like right there? Oh my god. Whew. All right. That was fun. I'm gonna have Wolfie continue to be seated over there, but we're gonna make an elevated hidey hole right here to mark the occasion. Oh man, my heart sunk. I'm like, well, it's gonna be this episode, I guess. This is how this is gonna proceed. Happy Flobathon. Oh man. Whew. Everybody take a breath. Everybody take a sip of water. Calm down. Oh. Whew. Yikes. Alright. Let's go to sleep and continue still with 0 deaths in Far Lands or Bust in the morning. Whew! And a lavaness. Good. Googly moogly. Oh man, you know what I want to do to mark the occasion of near death is turn this into obsidian. Oh god, and then have all the sand collapse and make me die anyway. Oh man. There we go. Now it's safe. Yeah, what was I doing? I was probably coming down right here. Da-na-na-na-na, and then whoa! Oh, of course I took a half heart right there, but yeah. That was mental. Do I have... I want to place a sign. Oop, that's not how you make a sign, Kurt. Single sign. Whew. Whew. Too close for comfort. Nearly death. This is 5/22/2015. Wow, that was oh my gosh. It didn't even register until I walked away how close to death we became. Whew. Ha. And then my second thought was, oh god, Wolfie's gonna follow me in, and I don't know how long wolves survive in lava. Not that long, I'm sure, but that's why I beelined it for the water, just in case. If he was ablaze, then we could very quickly extinguish him. But whoa, man! All right, welcome back to Far Lands or Bust, people. Good gravy. That was a spicy meatball. That was a spicy pit of lava. Right, let's get rid of the sand, shall we? We shall. Oh man. Whew. Yes. And this is incredibly appropriate. Incredibly appropriate is the words I meant to say. Silly Kyle asked with his donation, what's the scariest experience you've ever had in your life? I'm sure he's talking about real life, but good gravy. That's a That's a moment right there that we could probably put on that list. Whew, man. We're carrying the golden apple, the diamond sword, the 4 diamonds that we still haven't done anything left with from episode 400, and some of the netherrack from our soul journey to the nether. That was insane. Let's not do that again. Oh man. Scariest experience I've ever had in my life. I'm not much of a daredevil. I've never gotten in a car accident. I've never. I don't know. There are no. I've been on a few plane rides that land kind of hard or get some sort of turbulence. There was a flight. Oh, it was to, I believe, San Antonio, I remember, for PAC South, where we hit a patch of turbulence, and it had never happened before, but the pilot told the flight attendants to get into their seats, and this was like mid-flight. That's never happened before, and it was pretty sudden turbulence there. And there was even somebody in the bathroom at the time, and they were going to come out of the bathroom to get back to their seat, but the flight attendant yelled at them to say, "No, back, just sit inside there and stay in there," like so that they're not walking throughout the cabin. I'm like, that was pretty serious. But it's pretty amazing once you do learn about engineering and space. Yes, we were in space. I was doing space travel to get to PAC South. Just flight in general and what these airplanes can actually endure, the stresses that they can actually endure before anything bad happens. Puts you a little bit more at ease. I believe there's a famous picture of them stress testing the wings of a 747, and they're pretty much bent perpendicular. But that's what they can do. That is the sort of, so whenever you're looking out the window and you're going through turbulence and you see the wing moving, separate to the body of the aircraft, it's all right. They can handle that sort of thing. But oh man. But yeah, no, I can't think of anything too terrifying. I mean, go on some roller coasters that are kind of terrifying. But that's not the same thing, I guess. Yeah. So, almost falling in lava here in episode 486 of Far Lands of Bust is on that list, my friend Silly Kyle. Thank you very much for the donation. I think that question has actually been on the list for quite a while. We're actually getting into a bunch of these questions that have been on the list for a while, so... hi, Wolfie. So, if you've been waiting, perhaps your moment is coming. Fear not. Woo! Let's see. Marie from France. What would have made school more fun for you so I can do it to my students? What other language would you like to learn? Keep up the good work. Thank you. So you're a teacher in France. And I've offended all of you. What would have made school more fun for you? I think I mentioned this before, there was a question about what would you change about the school system in the United States. It would be having more of a choice in what you want to learn about, or, I can't think of any teacher who, there are some teachers that I'm sure you might have had who have at the end of the day or at a certain time of the day, it's question time where everybody just gets to ask a question about anything and the teacher will do their best to answer it. Didn't really even have anything like that. You got to think even back in the early 90s, we didn't just have the internet or Wikipedia. We couldn't just get lost on a Wikipedia wander, clicking from article to article, learning about the evolution of whales that were once actually wolf-like creatures on land that then were mammals, obviously, that then had to reverse engineer themselves to then live in the ocean again. You end up going through all these lists of things. That's obviously a recent one I went through, and we didn't have that sort of thing available to us. So being able to be a little bit more self-guided. Perhaps, obviously understand the need for structure and stuff like that early on in your grade schools, your elementary schools and whatnot. But even being able to explore different perhaps interests or majors, and being able to be a little bit more self-guided throughout school would have made it more fun. There's a school of thought, pun intended, that says it's school, it's not supposed to be fun, but it's life. Why would you not want to have fun? Why would you want to put yourself through misery or the stresses of all these standardized tests and kids getting panic attacks and throwing up? That's not necessary. It's really not that important. I mean, it's important, but it's not to the effect of ending up in harmful physical pain. So yeah, I'm not sure if I can have like a specific answer for that. Careful, Wolfie! I mean, it was always, I always got excited when we would end up talking about astronomy or when did we get to learn about the invention of the airplane and airplanes and cars and things. Those things always interested me, but it was always, we glanced over those things for half of one day of fourth grade or whatever, and then we continued on with the normal math curriculum or blah, 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 blah. So, being able to say, yes, this got me excited. Could I learn more about this? Could I spend more time doing something like this? Certainly would have made the journey probably a bit more enriching and enjoyable, and then perhaps would have allowed a lot of kids to find a little bit more direction and guidance. Self-guidance, I suppose, but then getting the appropriate guidance to then continue with that course of thought, I guess. What other language would you like to learn? I suppose for usability's sake here in America, Spanish I would like to learn, but yeah, I mean, that would be the most useful to me in possible everyday life situations. Maybe not everyday life, but it would be handy to be able to pick it up right away when needed. But yeah, I'm not too keen on languages. If I was self-guided in my teachings, learning a foreign language would not be on the list. Or maybe if I had gotten to it early enough and it had been taught interestingly enough, then maybe it would have been. We may never know. We may never know, because that time has come and gone. Much like my half a heart there has come and gone, and episode 486, Wolfie, has come and gone. We are just swinging for the fences here today. Nearly inches, mere floating points away from falling into lava. Tumbling off of cliffs here. Good gravy. This was a roller coaster of an episode. Whew. What we got down here? Is this? I hear spoilers, but this seemed interesting because there's clay next to it, so I felt like making this. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, I didn't sneeze. For those of you who thought maybe I muted it, no, I didn't sneeze. I just held it in really well. Suppress that sneeze. Uh-oh, spooky noises. Woof to you too, Wolfie. Oh, balls. Is this okay? Oh my gosh, this goes on for a while. Okay, this appears to be okay. If I light it up enough, Snuffleupagus, then I think we'll be alright. Hopefully nothing spawns whilst we try to slumber. Come on. There we go. Alright. Oh gosh, I didn't close the front door. Hello, goodbye. Good gravy. Pay attention, man. You're doing so many things about to get yourself killed here. But yeah, this has been, like I said, episode 486 of farlandsorbust.com. Yes, this has been an episode of my website, of Farlands or Bust. You can go to farlandsorbust.com to continue donating to Child's Play charity. Even though we reached our goal, the continued donations are always much appreciated and very helpful for the continued operation of Child's Play charity and the amazing things that they do. And their continued support of this series, of course, comes from that as well. And that is all thanks to you guys, to Farlanders. This weekend, I will probably do a lot more soul-searching and more definitive thinking and planning about what we're going to do about Flobathon, but looking forward to doing that soon. And yeah, everybody have a good weekend. Oh, isn't it in America anyway? Memorial Day weekend. Have a good Memorial Day. And remember what the day is actually about. It's not about getting 30% off at your favorite clothing store. It's about Memorial Day, about remembering those who have fought and died in wars for your freedom and whatnot. That I was trying to be all poignant and awesome there, but I am not that. That is the opposite of what I am, so I apologize. You know what it's for. So celebrate it and be with family. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. Have a good weekend. Like I said, I will see you next time.
So yeah, thanks for... Holy crap! Oh my god, that was almost death. Wolfie, get over here. Let's get in the water.